During the mid to late 80s, Nintendo dominated the video game market with their consoles NES and Game Boy, and their most popular property by far was Mario. Mario had been dominating the market for years at this point and is still very popular to this day. Mario's career on the NES was nothing short of impressive, but without a doubt the most impressive games in this lineup were the Super Mario Bros. Games. There were 3 games released on the NES, not including the Lost Levels, which only released on the system in Japan. Everyone loved these games, and for good reason. These games are fun to this day, especially 3, which I consider one of my favorite games of all time. Unfortunately, these were the only games to release on the NES. The NES was eventually discontinued in August 1995, 10 years after it was released. The last game believed to release on the system was the NES version of Disney's The Lion King, which released May of the same year. But what if I told you that there were plans to make one last game that would release on the system? And what if I told you it was a Mario game? Not just any Mario game, but Super Mario Bros. 4. Nintendo wanted to make the last game on the NES a big one. They decided to make one last Mario game before they moved on to the upcoming N64. The only problem was the team responsible for working on Mario games were busy working on Super Mario 64 at this point and were not available to work on the game. So Nintendo had to find help from a third-party developer to create the project. Their eventual pick was Excellent Software, a Canadian developer which were known for developing the cult hit Laser, which showcased their knowledge of game design. The team would be led by John Wallbank, who was previously the art director for Laser. Early in development, it was decided the game would have the same art style as Super Mario Bros. 3. With the development team eager to start, development for Super Mario Bros. 4 began. The plan for the game was very ambitious, with 10 worlds instead of 8, and the ability to play Princess Peach as well as Toad, just like in Super Mario Bros. 2.
We wanted our game to live up to the name, Super Mario Bros. 4, so that is our main goal.
Despite the enthusiasm of the team, problems would begin to arise quickly, the biggest of these problems being the language barrier between Nintendo and Excellent Software, which made communication frustrating. Not to mention the fact that the two companies were oceans apart. John had the following to say about this. We wanted to get feedback from Nintendo, but it would take too long to ask about specifics, so we decided it was best to work on a large portion of the game, and then Nintendo would have a representative come over and check on the progress every once in a while. Unfortunately, this plan proved to be not so great because when a representative showed up to check on the game's progress, they were not pleased with how the game was turning out, and at this time the team was pretty far into the game, and starting from scratch was not an option. As if things couldn't get any worse, John caught a fever and was out of the job for over a week. At this point, Nintendo thought the game just wasn't worth the trouble, and the game was cancelled. John was hurt badly by this news and thought he blew his chance to make something truly great. As for Excellent Software, this whole situation was financially devastating, and they needed their next game to be a financial success if they wanted to stay in business. Wallbank's work on Mario 4 impressed the company, and they hired him to co-direct Laser 2 with the original Laser creator Keith Jones. The game was set to release holiday 1997 on Sony's PlayStation. Everything was going to plan, and with a talented creative team at the helm, Laser 2 was looking to be a financial success for the company. Everything was perfect, but soon the developers' excitement would lead to devastation. One day out of nowhere, John Wallbank disappeared and never returned. Before Laser 2 could get completed, the company filed for bankruptcy, and Excellent's doors were shut, leaving Laser 2 and Mario 4 in its vaults. The biggest question you must have is, what happened to John Wallbank? I wish I could tell you. I don't think anybody knows. Not much about him is known in general. That interview clip I showed you was the only footage of him I could find. He definitely seemed like a very private person. It is extremely mysterious what happened to him. It's crazy to think that we could have gotten a Super Mario Bros. 4, and on the NES of all consoles. I can see why they would cancel the game, because I could not see how the game would be super financially successful. The NES was 2 console generations old at this point. People were getting ready for the PlayStation. I don't understand why Nintendo would hire Excellent of all companies. I mean, Laser is a pretty fun game, but it is nothing like Mario, and the team had no prior experience with platformers, while Nintendo can sometimes make some weird choices. This is a story of excitement, potential, disappointment, miscommunication, and tragedy. I have never known a time when something like this has happened. It's just so bad that we'll never be able to play Super Mario Bros. 4. Or won't we?